sticks. They spot the ball, take a look.
And this is one of the tough judgment calls that those referees have, right, Gabe? Where did the forward motion stop on this? Many a game has been won or lost on the judgment of the guy, whether they got the first down, where they mark it.
They're going to bring out the chain to measure for the possible first down.
Those officials can do funny things with that football when they're turning it and moving it.
I don't think they got it.
It's a mite short. It's fourth down and a mite short.
Now, everybody in the stadium and the home team, you'll hear him. Let's go for it. Let's see what Jack Pardee wants to do. He might, but he's got to punt it.
He's punting. Too early in the game, right?
Imagine.
Here comes Mike Bragg in to do the punting. Of course, all the people yelling go for it are not under contract to anybody.
That's right.
I tell you what, though, Lindsey, now that I'm not playing, it's sure easier sitting up here hollering go for it than it is when you're down there.
Much, much easier. Wally Henry has dropped back now. He's a threat back there. Mike Bragg with his third punt of the day. Well, it was a heavy rush. He got it off, driving Henry back. Bragg really boomed it at the 10-yard line. Henry now changes direction. And he gets it back to about the 18. A 54-yard punt by Mike Bragg.
And one thing that Washington, the character of this football team, is they won a lot of games on their special teams. They are coached and drilled, and these guys have a lot of pride in their special teams. I don't think, Lindsey, over the last 10 years, I guess the Washington Redskins have won more games on special teams than maybe anybody.
Great believers in that phase of the game.
So wonder how that theory has gone around the league now. The Eagles use the same theory that the Redskins, the Rams, and a lot of other teams now are applying that principle.
Wilbert Montgomery, Cleveland Franklin are the running backs now for Ron Jaworski. Carmichael loosened up a little to the left side. Running backs into an eye. Montgomery to the 22-yard line. He picked up 4. It'll be second down and 6. Dave Butts made the stop for the Redskins. This is the 88th time that these two teams have met. When they first started playing, the Redskins were the Boston Redskins.
The Boston Redskins.
Before George Preston Marshall brought them to Washington, the late George Preston Marshall.
McDowell looks like he's hurt just a tad, and Lorch is in there now for McDowell, 71.
Jaworski, taken by Ken Payne on a little turnout. It's across the 25-yard line. Joe Lavender on that corner.
This little three-step drop pattern going to the outside to your short receiver. It's a good kind of pattern to pick up some yardage for that first down. Needed to go up there close. Now they get 3rd and 2.
Nice camera angle right there, huh?
Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
Boys work hard in the truck.
John Shara is in there now. John Shara is the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Look out for the option, veer option.
Need 2 yards for the first down. It's the option play.
Oh!
He couldn't turn. Carl Lorch was there to cut him off at the pass.
Hey,
Lindsey, I can speak from experience about this. When I was a rookie, I played quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, and when the defense would see me come in, they'd say option right, option left. They knew it was going to be an option, and I'm sure the Washington Redskins said, well, when Johnny Shera comes in as a quarterback, if it's during the game, they're going to run the veer option.
I think that answers a lot of questions of why pro teams don't run the option more often.
If they left up to the quarterbacks, they'd never run it. Back in deep punt formation now. It's Rick Ingalls. Tony Green is center deep to receive it. They're going to rush 10 here. Well, not really. Peel him back, and Tony Green retreats. He takes it at 27, bobbled it for a moment, and he's down short of the 27. 45-yard punt. The Eagles get the ball, and it's spotted at their own 26-yard line. 5 minutes, 14 seconds left to play in the half. The Redskins are leading 14-10.
Well, looks like that kid Canfield can play special teams, too. He might have found him a home.
It's a sellout crowd here at RFK Stadium, and this is the home opener for the Washington Redskins. Grant's coming out to a wide right. Danny Buggs to a wide left.
Look at this formation. What is this? Oh, here comes the man.
Fugate across in motion. Tight end in motion. Grant has it at the 40-45. Grant to the 49-yard line before Deke Sanders brought him down. 22-yard pickup on the play.
Well, Theismann, all the time in the world to look around for his receiver here, and I think if Grant would have seen Danny Buggs to the outside here, he could have cut pretty good pass protection. Now watch over the middle. Gabe, right here. When Grant's got the football, he doesn't see Buggs. If he would have tried to get to the outside, there's Buggs, could have helped him out a little bit.
He might have gone the distance if he could have got outside, Paul. That's two things that bothers the defense, men in motion and time to throw.
First and 10 for the Redskins at their own 49. McDaniel and Buggs are the receivers in the ballgame right now. He'll get the tight end right. Theismann, McDaniel, and he's got it. McDaniel at the 40-yard line of Philadelphia before Charlie Williams brought him down.
Well, they're going to work on that rookie. Charlie Williams is in for John Outlaw.
Watch Williams. He steps in front of the intended receiver, but he doesn't touch the football. McDaniel is on the receiving end of this right there. Williams should have at least deflected it. Instead, McDaniel, with good concentration, caught the pass.
And he caught it for 11 yards in the first down. It's first and 10 for the Redskins at the Philadelphia 40. Riggins. Inside the 33-yard line. Pick up about 7 on the play. It'll be second down and 3. Bill Berge made the stop.
You know, Lindsey, the Redskins now have the type of game that you like to have going as a quarterback. Throw a little bit, run a little bit, and it all works.
It's all working for the Redskins right now. They're leading 14-10, and they're driving. Ball is inside the 33-yard line. Second down and 3 yards to go.
Riggins now 29 yards on 6 carries.
Fugate deployed over tight end left. Riggins and Thomas at the setbacks. Riggins looking for a place to cut. Strung out to the 31. John Bunning made the tackle, picked up about 2 yards.
This is Danny Buggs. Let's see if we can pick up who is responsible. All he has to do is try to get the cornerback, and he does a good job, knocks him off his feet. But back there, it's good pursuit by the Eagle defense. Berge always ever present somewhere along where the football is.
Somebody forgot to tell him he's supposed to rest sometime.
Reggie Haynes is in there now to double tight end alignment. There's 3rd and 1. It's Grant across. Riggins needs a yard. Well, he may have picked up the yard. Bill Berge hit him. He hit the ground. They're looking at the sticks, and now they'll take a long look at whether or not he got the first down.
I think Charlie Johnson, your nose guard in that Philadelphia 3-4, is a little bit perturbed about where they marked the football there. He threw his hands up as if he was really disgusted.
That's a minority opinion in this case.
Does that tell you something about 65 Charlie Johnson? Here he is playing the nose, knocking off the run in the middle, and then they run outside, and he's over there to make the tackle.
They'll measure for the possible first down here.
Now Pardee might go for it.
First and 10. Any part of the ball. If any part of the ball is there, and the very end of the ball is there.
I'd like to see that again. I looked at that real quick. I thought it would be 4th down.
You had a bad angle.
I had a bad angle, right.
I tell you what, Paul, number 47, Williams for the Eagles doesn't look too bad. He's made 2 pretty good misses.
That's close.
Washington Redskins have picked up 11 first downs so far. Philadelphia second. It's first and 10 at the 30-yard line. 2 minutes, and there is the 2-minute warning. The 2-minute warning has sounded here at RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. And the Washington Redskins are leading the Eagles by a score of 14-10. 2 minutes left to play in the first half.
Have you ever wondered where major industries do their shopping? When the automotive industry shops for car thermostats, when the aircraft industry shops for lightweight special metals, when the leisure time industry shops for true temper golf shafts and garden tools, when a number of industries shop for gases and chemicals, they're all drawn to one source. The source? Allegheny Ludlam Industries, the supermarket.
Here's to good friends.
Here he comes.
Tonight is kind of special.
Hey, we almost gave up and sent out for pizza. Sorry. All I could get were lobsters and Lowenbrow. All I could get were lobsters and Lowenbrow. Well, it's the last party of the summer. I figured I'd shoot the works.
When you want the taste of a truly great beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Well, like the song says, here's to good friends.
Redskins have a 4-point lead. They have it first and 10 at the 30.
Well, we've got 2 minutes, and the Redskin defense has, I guess, come alive here in the second quarter. The Eagles do not have a first down, Gabe.
Oh, boy, they're going to have to change that. I know when they go in that locker room, Vermeil is going to be preaching to them. But he's going to have to go back to the left side, Paul.
That's where they've had most of their success. They've had good success going to their own left side.
Joe Theismann is the quarterback. John Riggins, Mike Thomas are the setbacks. Danny Bugs goes out to a wide left. Mike Grant to a wide right. Out to Danny Bugs. Well, he's going to try it way over here. Can he turn the corner? Well, for all of that, he got a yard. It's 2nd and 9 at the 29.
Well, next week when they go over the films, they're going to tell Danny Bugs, let's don't do that. That play is designed for the lineman to come out, screen to the wide flanker out there and try to go upfield, not reverse your field and come all the way over here and lose yardage.
As Jake Gaither used to say at Florida A&M, I want ball players that run north and south, and don't give me those that run east and west.
That's right.
2nd and 9 at the 29. Theismann. Incomplete. Trying to get it again to Bugs.
Well, they had a hole there. Berge came up rushing the passer. They had a little bit of an area to get the ball there. I think he sort of threw off balance then.
He did. His man was open on a hook pattern. That was Danny Bugs. 8 out of 13 for Joe. 135 yards. Houston is taking a 3-0 lead over Kansas City. I think that's in the first quarter. Yes, it is. Tony Frisch, a 23-yard field goal. Houston 3, Kansas City nothing.
The master out. Johnson in, looking for that nickel defense. Number 49, Johnson in for 55, Lemaster.
3rd down play with 1:10 to play, and John McDaniel and Danny Bugs are the wide receivers.
I'd keep my eye on Fugit if I were the Philadelphia Eagles.
Timeout for Theismann. Took a look and called timeout.
He wants to come over and talk it over to Jack Pardee.
Yeah, did you see that, Paul? 49 just came in, started to fake a safety blitz. I think he was a little unsure of himself.
At least he got his attention.
Yeah.
Well, they say he audibled at the line of scrimmage last week against New England 5 or 6 times. There he's talking. That's Joe Walton there, the offensive coordinator. Former tight end of the New York Giants, All-American out of Pittsburgh. Jack Pardee just looking on. He's telling Joe, come on up with something and put some points on the board.
In that typical 3rd and 10 situation,
look at
you do it. We'll watch you do it. If it's 1st and 10, well, there's Dick Vermeil, a little concerned, and his quarterback Ron Jaworski, number 7, trying to figure out what's gone wrong here in the second quarter. Well, Dallas 21 to New York Giants 7.
Well, 2 touchdown passes from Roger Staubach today. At least 2 touchdown passes. That's 21-7 over New York. Second quarter. I'll tell you, they're going to put a lot of points on the board. They have got an arsenal to work with, don't they?
Never. I don't think I've seen so many good people on one football team, perhaps other than the Rams.
Redskins will have 2 timeouts remaining now with 1:10 showing on the clock, and they have the ball 3rd and 10 at the 30-yard line. Redskins have won 40 of the 50 football games they have played at this stadium. They used to play at Griffith Stadium before the construction of RFK. So they've decided what the 3rd down play is, and here it comes. McDaniel and Bugs.
You need 10.
Fugit moving over to the left side. Riggins and Thomas are the setbacks for Theismann. Riggins, and he's got the first down at the 19-yard line. Eric Johnson brought him down.
They caught the Eagles expecting to pass Lindsay with the 3-man. They had a nickel defense in, 5 defensive backs, and a good play call here.
Great call, Paul.
Look at that hole. Whew. John Riggins picks up very valuable first down.
Redskins have called a timeout to stop the clock. It is showing 1:01 as you see inset, and the Redskins have one more timeout remaining.
And I guess the Redskins will line up Mosley if they're not able to get the ball in the end zone. And he's beaten the Eagles. Well, he beat the Eagles twice last year with about 4 field goals in 2 games.
And he's missed 1 field goal already this afternoon, and he's within range. He gets it up so high. He's got such a strong leg. I was a little surprised that he missed that field goal.
Keep in mind that CBS has a great deal of sports coverage for you now. At the completion of this telecast, you'll see the U.S. Open tennis finals.
Yeah, it's the richest lady in sport right there, Chrissy Everett. She just keeps on winning. Pam Shriver, boy, she's played fantastically to get to the finals. And then it's Jimmy Connors against Bjorn Borg, I guess.
Thought you did that very well.
Bjorn Borg.
Yes, Bjorn Borg.
The Gray Fox will be there. Pat Summerall giving you all the action. Boy, that is going to be some kind of match. Connors wants to win it so bad. Whew.
I've caught your act on the basketball court, Paul Horning. How are you on the tennis court?
I tell you, I am very, very poor. Let's put it that way.
That's the same way
I
I
have no
about your
weaknesses,
basketball.
so. Everybody says your backhand's weak. All my game's weak in tennis.
How about the Horning option pass here?
Boy.
1st and 10 at the 19-yard line. Theismann. And it's Fugit shaken loose. The call is incomplete. Incomplete's the call. 2nd and 10 at the 19.
Well, they had the coverage they wanted. They had John Bunning, a linebacker, trying to cover the tight end Fugit here. Here come the pass rushers, Clark and 67 Burnham. You think they'll come with a draw again?
I don't know. They got 1 timeout remaining.
Haven't used it yet.
Here's a halftime score. The Packers 14, New Orleans 10.
Feel better?
Oh, well, it's a long way from home. Anything can happen.
I've heard that somewhere before. 55 seconds remaining to be played in the first half. Redskins are leading 14-10. Theismann.
Fugit again.
Touchdown. Touchdown to
What a
Fugit.
play. What a play, Paul.
The exact same play that Fugit caught earlier for 49 yards and a touchdown. At a slot on the right side, Fugit was the only receiver out on the left side except the back. Now Fugit is lined up tight on the left side. You see him released to the inside. They got a back coming over to take care of the outside cornerback, and he slips down under the seam, and he beats the free safety. Just came over and missed the ball. Fugit for his 2nd touchdown reception of the day.
They caught the Eagles gambling on a blitz there, too, and that's what you call a maturing of a quarterback, you might say.
Theismann puts it down. Mosley boots it up, and it's good. So as they come back up the field, it is Washington 21, the Philadelphia Eagles 10.
Here it is again. Burnham being blocked to the outside, and there's LeMaster, and can't tell who the other guy, but they hit the seam there on the blitz. Sanders couldn't get over.
You know, the best day that Joe Theismann ever had, I think Lindsay and I worked it out in San Francisco. He threw for over 340 yards. He threw 3 touchdown passes that afternoon to his tight end. There he is, number 84, Gene Fugit. Probably the best day Fugit ever had also, wasn't it, Lindsay?
I think it was. The young man from Amherst.
Boy, that's the kind of score that can demoralize a football team with only 50 seconds before halftime.
Theismann 9 out of 15, 155 yards, 2 touchdowns throwing. He ran 1 in from 4 yards out. Fugit, 3 catches, 2 for TDs.
That drive went 74 yards in 10 plays, consumed 4 minutes, 24 seconds. Mosley is teeing the ball up. Henry is dropping back along with Billy Campfield. Wally Henry, Billy Campfield are deep to receive the kickoff for the Philadelphia Eagles. Clock will start when the ball is touched by a member of the receiving team in the field of play in these last 2 minutes. And so it is in the air short. distort the clock. It's at the 17-yard line. Henry returns it to the 33. Mark Murphy downfield to make the tackle.
Well, you have 45 seconds to go in the half. What are you going to do here? You're going to try to move it down for a field goal or sit on the ball and come back and fight in the second half?
Of course, when you're up here, it's a lot easier. I'd come out throwing the football myself.
I would too. Send everybody deep.
You can always get that pass interference, I'll tell you. It's always a chance.
Send Carmichael deep. What's he, 6'7"?
Well, they got time. They got 45 seconds. They got 3 timeouts. They could possibly get into field goal range if they put it upstairs in a hurry.
Jaworski. Well, he wanted to swing it out, and it's incomplete. That had deflected and almost intercepted. Coy Bacon got there to deflect it up into the air, and Carl Lorch almost made the catch.
Well, they should have had Ron McDole in there for Carl Larch. Carl Larch is substituting for McDole. You'll see it from the outside. The pass is deflected. McDole has had 12 interceptions for a defensive lineman in 18 years, and McDole would have had that easily.
That's right. Of course, this is the kind of situation Coy Bacon thrives on. Had 26 sacks 2 years ago in Cincinnati, and now they have to put the ball up, so he's coming.
39 seconds in the first half. Washington leading 21-10. Jaworski. Incomplete. Krepfle. Keith Krepfle, the man for whom it was intended. Ken Houston covering.
It's tough on a guy like Stan Walters when he's going up against a Coy Bacon. Walters has had a problem with his left ankle the last 2 weeks, so with a guy like Bacon, you need 2 strong ankles, maybe 3.
35 seconds on the clock. Perry Brooks in there defensively now for the Washington Redskins.
And this is actually playing right into Washington's hands. And I would imagine if they hold him here on 3rd down, you'll see Washington try to block this punt.
Jaworski. It's Kenny Houston. Across the sideline.
He intercepted Lindsey, but he juggled the football. He didn't have control in the field of play. That's what the ruling is.
I tell you what, Paul, they doubled the outside receivers and put Houston on Krepfle man-to-man. He comes up with the interception. What a player.
Now Rick Ingalls will be dropping back in punt formation. The clock says 29 seconds.
And the Eagles have not made a first down here in the second quarter.
Tony Green is back to receive the punt. Tony Green.
There's the 10-man rush. At least it looks like a 10-man rush coming up for the Redskins.
Looks like the bench.
Here they come.
Whoa.
Hits it to 39 and bounces back upfield. And it is killed near the 45-yard line by Reggie Wilkes. 23-yard punt. 20 seconds on the clock. Spotted at the 44-yard line.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Lindsey, I think you said that the Redskins have 1 timeout remaining,
They
don't
do.
they?
They have 1.
You're going to see the football. Let's put it up in the air.
Well, the Eagles punter had a tough time of it last week. He had 1 blocked and 1 partially blocked. It looks like he's having a little tough time of it this week, too. The Eagles are in that nickel back situation, Paul.
Frank Grant, Danny Bugs far to the left side. Riggins to the 50 and to the 47-yard line.
We got Randy Logan and Drew Mahalik on the tackle there.
I don't understand the theory here of the Washington Redskins. 20 seconds on the clock. They got 1 timeout remaining, and they're just going to take the lead right into the locker room. I'll tell you, they could have gambled a little bit there and might have had a field goal attempt.
I think so, too. Evidently, who is this down? Randy Logan. 41 Logan's hurt.
Randy Logan on the turf as time has run out here at RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. And the teams have left the field with Washington leading by a score of 21-10. Washington 21, Philadelphia Eagles 10 at the end of the first half.
This used to be filled with 4 million gallons of oil, but we've just been using too much of it. Perhaps we should use the yellow pages more. It tells us who sells what we need, where they're located, and when they're open. So there's less driving around wasting precious gas. The Yellow Pages. It's not an empty promise. When you need to know who, what, where, when, and why, let your fingers do the walking through the Bell System Yellow Pages.
Are we gonna be the bowling champs tonight? Yeah! Are we having a problem? Yeah!
Did I forget my Prestone?
Yeah!
Take out the old, put in the 2. Put in the Prestone 2.
Protect against freeze-ups and corrosion. Take out old, weak antifreeze and put in America's most trusted antifreeze, Prestone 2.
Take out the old, put in the 2. Put in the Prestone 2.
And when you flush your cooling system, use Prestone Super Flush.
These are two of today's newest razors. The one on the right is the new Norelco rechargeable rotary razor. This one has 2 blades and pivots up and down. The new Norelco 36 blades in 3 adjustable floating heads and a new shaving angle. Both give you a close shave. But the new Norelco rechargeable lets you walk away from soap and water. Of course, they do give you one thing Norelco doesn't. Gotcha! The new Norelco rechargeable rotary razor. Still no gotcha.
The Belmont, 1977. You saw it on CBS Sports. The Belmont, 1978. You saw it on CBS Sports. Next Saturday, CBS Sports Spectacular presents the Cup and a classic matchup of Seattle Slew, Affirmed, and Alydar. Next Saturday, you'll also see the record makers with Olympic champion Vasily Alexiev. Sunday morning, you'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Lindsey Nelson with Paul Horning and Roman Gabriel at halftime. Gentlemen, how about a few observations on the first half play? Roman?
Well, it looked like in the second quarter, Lindsey, that the Eagles' offense went south. Last week, they only controlled the ball 26 minutes. This week, they were prepared to come in and control the ball more than that, and they're putting a lot of pressure on the defense.
Paul?
Well, Washington, Joe Theismann had a great first half. He threw for 2 touchdowns to his tight end, Gene Fugit, and he's run 1 from 4 yards out. So it's Theismann having a great day for Washington, and they're just playing good football. They're not making any mistakes. It's the same old Washington Redskin team. They lull you to sleep, and then they beat you.
Well, Roman Gabriel, now the Philadelphia Eagles go into the locker room. What do you do now?
Well, knowing the background of Vermeil's system and the way these players have worked, Lindsey, I think they're going to come back because they worked too hard to get where they are, and they have a better football team than they showed in the second quarter.
And about the Washington Redskins.
Well, the Washington Redskins do not want to change a thing, folks. They want to do exactly what they've been doing in the first half. They're complementing a good passing game with some runs from John Riggins and Mike Thomas. They're putting pressure on, and defensively in the second quarter, the Washington Redskins' aged defense was superb. The Eagles did not get a first down the whole second quarter, and I would have to say in the first half, it's just been completely the Washington Redskins.
I think it has, and you know, it's Jack Pardee's first year as the head coach of the Washington Redskins, but it takes a little while to change the character of a football club. You mentioned the aged defense of the Washington Redskins. George Allen was the head coach here for years, but it's still pretty much the Washington Redskin team that was put together under that regime.
It really is, and I think the character of the team has always been, Gabe, and I think maybe you could comment on this. They try not to beat themselves. The Washington Redskins have over the years played a type of game where they let you beat them. You know, you beat yourself, you fumble, you throw the interception, you make the mistake, and we capitalize on it.
That's right, Paul. They're so well prepared when they go into a ball game that they don't beat themselves, as you mentioned. And that experience, along with the preparation that they have, it makes them awful difficult to whip them, especially going into the second half if they're on top of it.
One of the problems that Dick Vermeil has had, of course, in taking over as head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles is overcoming the things that had preceded him with the Philadelphia Eagles, because the Eagles went through years and years and years of frustration. They'd have a new regime and they're going to make the move, then nothing would happen. So that's the thing he's had to try to overcome.
And Lindsey, I think he's done one heck of a job with the people that he has on the Eagles football team. He's incorporated his system. He wants character people, and he also wants them to never give up. And I believe that's what we're going to see in the second half, a team that hasn't given up.
So we have another half of football to go here at Washington, D.C. is RFK Stadium. Right now, we are getting ready to take you to CBS Control in New York.
All right, back in New York, I'm Brent Musburger. Let's go around the league quickly and get you up to date. Last night down in Tampa, 15-7, the Lions over the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers 0-2. Dallas at the half. Many of you watching that game, leading the Giants 21-7. Washington and Philadelphia, the rest of you are watching this contest. The Eagles did not get a first down in the second quarter against that tough Redskin defense. New Orleans and Green Bay, 2 touchdown passes by David Whitehurst for Bart Starr in that contest. Cincinnati and Cleveland right now. The Bengals trying to snap back after the disappointment of a week ago. They're shutting the Browns out at the half. Pittsburgh leading Seattle. Terry Bradshaw has thrown 2 touchdown passes for the Steelers in that contest. Houston right now, Dante Pastorini is the quarterback, 3-0. They lead the Chiefs, and that game is in the second quarter.
Touchdown passes are way up this year. We had 32 touchdown passes last week and 11 as of today, making it 43 for the season. Do you think that might be because of the rules changes that we're having?
You know, Jane, the league has been concerned a long time about trying to open up pro football. Brent just talked about all the touchdown passes we saw in the first half, and they are up, and they'll continue to be up. I talked to Harold Carmichael, and he told me why. Harold right now has a record, has 82 consecutive passes received. The NFL Rules Committee has passed 2 major rules changes this season, both designed to stimulate offense through the passing game. The first grants offensive linemen a new pass protection technique that Dolphin head coach Don Shula demonstrates.
During a legal pass block, hands, open or closed, must be inside the blocker's elbows and can be thrust forward to contact an opponent as long as that contact is within the opponent's frame. Pass blocking rules apply anytime that the quarterback and or the blockers stay within the pocket area. The pocket is defined as that area from the center to 2 yards outside of the offensive tackle's position on either side of the line of scrimmage.
The second change concerns the new 5-yard zone. Receivers and defenders' rights within this zone, beyond which a receiver may not be bumped at all. I'm standing here talking to a gentleman who has to be the tallest wide receiver in professional football, Harold Carmichael. Harold, you look awfully big today.
Well, on Sundays, I'm pretty big, but or maybe it's because you're standing in that hole.
Let me get up here where I can see a little closer. I'm standing in my defensive position as a cornerback, covering Harold Carmichael as a wide receiver. Under the new rules, I can rotate up inside the 5-yard area and bump him. Once I make contact with the wide receiver, I can stay with him and ride him through the 5-yard area. But once he crosses that 5-yard zone from the line of scrimmage, I must release him. I make contact, I can ride him, but once I get to the 5-yard area, I must release him. In a few seconds, you'll see something you won't believe. I'm going to cover Harold Carmichael one-on-one under the new rules. In the old days, when Tom Brookshire and I played for the Philadelphia Eagles, we used to be able to axe wide receivers. We can't do that today. But remember, I don't have a pass rush, I don't have any linebackers, I don't have a free safety to help me. It's Harold Carmichael against a very shaky Irv Cross.
Oh, no. Harold, come back. Help, where's my safety? Come back, Harold.
Well, I guess you can't win them all, right?
Harold, come back indeed, Irv Cross. A report from the Meadowlands. Tommy Henderson, the Dallas linebacker, sprained an ankle. They will take x-rays. They do not think it's serious. And for those of you who were not watching, defensive end Harvey Martin was kicked out by referee Freddie Wyatt for fighting with 10 seconds to go. And the NFL Today will continue with highlights on CBS after these messages from your local stations.
He's a lawyer who fought long and hard to prove himself. He's Kaz, and he's coming your way in a special series preview. Ron Liebman and Patrick O'Neill star tonight at 10, 9 Central and Mountain, 8 Pacific on CBS.
Hello again from RFK Stadium here in Washington. I'm Lindsey Nelson with Paul Horning and Roman Gabriel. It's halftime. in this game between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Redskins. Redskins are leading by a score of 21-10. In a moment, we're going to look, gentlemen, at halftime statistics, but there's one stat that I think is indicative of the trend the ball game took. Of course, the Eagles got out in front early in the ball game, but the Redskins came back, and in the second quarter, the Philadelphia Eagles had a -1 yard total yardage for the second quarter. That's a pretty indicative statistic.
I think so, Lindsey. You don't win many ball games like that.
So let's look now at the stats for the first half of this ball game. The score, of course, and there are the stats. Washington with 35 plays. Philadelphia had 29. First downs, Washington had 13 and Philadelphia had 7. Now, there are the yards rushing, and Philadelphia has 102 to Washington 71.
For those 102 yards rushing by the Eagles, Gabe, most of those came in the first quarter when they were really moving the football on the left side, on their own left side, and they've gone away from that.
Look at the passing yardage, 137 to 28.
Boy, now that's a statistic that you're going to have to bring up in the second half, especially if you're going to win this football game.
So it's halftime here in Washington, 21-10 Redskins.
Look at Sears, and you'll see the travel knit vested suit at a $29 savings. Now just $89.99, it's the suit that keeps on looking good. Watch how the knit fabric resists wrinkling to make sure the fresh, neat look is a look that lasts. Then take another look at that savings. Sears travel knit vested suit, just $89.99. Whenever you're looking for great menswear values, look at Sears. On sale through September 16th in Sears Men's Store.
Owens Corning would like to help you understand insulation R values. R stands for resistance to heat flow. It's the right way to measure insulating power, not thickness. Look, it takes about 18 feet of stone to give you an R value of R19, but only 15 inches of wood and 6 inches of this Owens Corning fiberglass insulation. So check for R value. The higher the R value, the greater the insulating power. Want to know about insulation? Ask Owens Corning.